Hey, LaPora. Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, glad to be here, Asher. Thank you for having me again.
You're very welcome. For anyone who doesn't know you, who do you say you are?
For anyone who doesn't know me, I would say that I am someone who absolutely enjoys enhancing the workplace with education and inspiration. I'm a keynote speaker and a workshop facilitator and a learning and development professional.
Very cool. And I think last time you were on, we talked about your book that you have behind you, Bottom of the Food
Yes.
Chain. And I kept wanting to call it Bottom of the Map, uh, based off of a podcast I was introduced to that was talking about Atlanta hip hop and down south Southern hip hop rap type music.
Yeah. It's not that one, but yes, yeah. There it is. It's behind me and yeah, that's been a few years and on to new projects.
Gotcha. What's 2025 been like for you? What's back to school, motherhood, all that stuff been like?
Right. So I really should have invested in summer camp or some type of summer program for the kids
Hmm.
because this summer was very, very busy. But it was busy because of work and motherhood and wifehood and all of these different things that were going on at the same time. And so definitely recommend if you can put your kids in some type of summer program
Gotcha.
because it's a
You
lot.
you guys weren't looking to do the rent the RV and take a trip around the States, road trip.
No, but that is actually, I don't want to call it a bucket list, but that is on my to-do list. I don't want to call it that either. But just doing some type of activity where we can travel, take a RV, because I feel like there's nothing wrong with amusement parks,
Hmm.
but they're a little overrated. And
Hmm.
so just looking at all of the wonderful things that we have stateside is something that I would love to do. But I think the kids need to get just a little bit, both kids need to be a little bit older so that way they can appreciate everything that they see.
That makes sense. I saw something the other day on Instagram and it was like a 5 things you should schedule on your calendar list. And I was like,
Hmm.
I'll share this and I'll save this to my remember if I ever get back to there. But it's like just scheduling things like a detox day or
Oh, that's nice.
um like a declutter day, or just even taking one of them was a mini vacation, or just go out like you would being a tourist in your own town and take the time to take pictures of things, or
Oh,
change your
nice.
route from what you normally do from your routine to where it forces you to slow down and actually observe what's going on around you. And I was like, I like these. These are something simple. I can just put it on the calendar. I like to draw my calendar on this whiteboard I got from way back when, just
Yes.
from Home Depot. You get the big old 4 foot by 8 foot sheet, like the teachers would have that whiteboard in class. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, mine broke in half, so I had it framed, and
Oh.
it's like, oh, now I've got a nice 4 by 4 square piece, and I can hang it up wherever I go, just like a picture frame.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, definitely more of that for sure. Just being in the moment, being present. I mean, I guess the other part for me is that we do get out and about like locally. We make that our thing. Like we're going to like a farmer's market. We're going somewhere. We're not going to necessarily spend a lot of money doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't take pictures because I'm so busy just trying to enjoy like what I'm looking at,
Yeah,
but I gotta, I guess, find a little bit of balance so that way, because you're not gonna remember every single thing. So just
right.
taking one picture here and there is definitely something I'll consider doing in the future because that's a good idea.
Yeah. I guess maybe I've been in the same boat as yourself before, where it's like I didn't really see the point of maybe taking pictures, or
Right.
like not taking as many because I'm like, when am I actually going to go back? Like I'm taking screenshots of my phone for Amazon returns and then I'll delete them, or I'll take pictures of receipts for medicine or doctor's visit, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I'll expense that because that's my health savings account thing. But
there you go.
every now and then, I think a couple weeks ago, I went
Hmm.
up to visit my brother about halfway in between us, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know this town was here." And just walking around the little square that they have, like a lot of towns seem to have that, whether they have a like a park square or a riverfront or walkway or something, and then they'll start putting up monuments or statues or a little piece of history. It's like, hey, we were the first to do this in Georgia, or we're
Yeah,
the ones that did this, this, and that. And it's like, huh, okay. Like maybe history wasn't a thing before us, but it's like, oh, I learned something here about a city, and those are things that I would take a picture of, or I took a picture of where I'm like, okay, when I scroll through my phone, I can remember I went to this city and here was
right.
this thing that had a lot of words on it, but like now I can kind of read it, or it could be a post for social media to just be like, oh, here's something I did once upon a time. And then people might
Exactly.
be like, oh, were you there this time? And it's like, no, it's been a little bit. It's been a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I like that.
So how did I feel like I kind of jumping all over the place, but going
No.
back from where we were with putting out the book, what was that whole experience like?
Um, so the one thing that a lot of people don't tell you about is the writing is actually the fun part,
Mm,
even the editing. And if someone is in the midst of writing a book now, they'll be like, "Ha, whatever. You're just saying that." But no, the writing is the the writing is actually the fun part. It is the opportunity to let your brain just do what it wants to do, to come up with all of these creative ideas, and even the editing, like enjoy that.
mm,
But that marketing, oh my goodness, that is completely different. And if I am honest with myself, and I try to be,
mm,
that was a tough one, the marketing piece, because just because you write a book and just because people know that you've written a book doesn't
mm.
mean it's going to sell. Like they're not, those are not correlated. Like it doesn't, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Really got to get out there and promote the book. And that was a lot of energy that um I didn't have that stored up.
Mm,
I'll say the least. So I really wasn't ready for that. But I learned a lot from it. And if I get an idea, another idea that I feel is worth writing a book, I would happily do that again and then implement all of the lessons learned from from this past time because it was really daunting, all of it. But I'm glad it's over with.
yeah.
And I don't know if I'm looking forward to writing any future ones. I don't have any ideas just yet, but if I do, we'll see how it goes.
Got you. But I guess now that you got your first one out of the way, you can always have it there and people would be like, oh, what's that about? Like,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that. And it's I guess it when you mentioned that, and the more I thought about like watching podcasts and actually doing a podcast and seeing how people go about it, it's like, oh, it's like a giant marketing arm where you
Yeah.
see this person, they kind of make the rounds where it's like, okay, they'll go on Rogan, or like comedians, they'll go here and then they'll go there. And it's like they all use each other's platforms to kind of promote each other. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I get it. It's like, why does it feel like they're always selling me something? It's like, oh, because they are like that. That's kind of the point of what they're doing. But it's nice to
Right.
see people that have created something, or like you get a sense of who the person is beforehand, and then you're like, okay, I don't feel like you're just trying to just take my money and run with it. But like, I guess part of the reason I started the podcast, or a tool that I used to start the podcast, was like the self-authoring tool. And
Mm.
hearing so much about it after listening to like 9 hours of podcasting, and like you listen to the same person talk about it, and I'm like, okay, this kind of makes sense. It feels like it's taking me the better part of a year or a month to do, but I'm doing it as terribly as I can, but I'm putting a plan together. And then
Yeah.
once I'm done, it's like, oh, okay, like 2 years, 5 years have gone by, and I'm like, I can check off everything on this list. Or like I look back at my goals for like the future, and it's that, well, these are still goals, which are good. And think I'm still heading in that direction. But I had to do like a deep dive session here recently that was kind of a pairing of, do you remember the movie Inside Out?
Like the Pixar movie?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
So like basically one of the guests that I spoke to before, we talked about his book, and it was like titled What's on Your Back Burner. And the way he was describing it is almost like you're talking to not just like an emotion of yours, but like you're speaking to a part of yourself that you've kind of hidden away, and for one reason or another, as you're younger, it's like you kind of put it away because you were told that it wasn't right to express that, whether it was anger or you saw people that were angry. And then for me, it was in a way of like hiding my voice or
Mm,
like being quieter because it's like when everybody else got loud, it was their way to express. But then for me, it was just like, well, angry is bad. So then you just become like
right.
the nice, quiet little boy that's just, so long as you stay nice and proper, everybody likes that. Like
Yeah.
there's no really there's no really need to like hear what you've got to say because when you go like order of operations, everyone else is kind of up here in age and I'm like near the very bottom. So it's like, yeah, you can kind of get out of here with that. I might not be describing it the best way, but at least doing a deep dive session on that, I think it was like yeah, not a day or two ago. It was helpful in being like, oh, okay. Like when they say people have mommy issues or daddy issues, and it's like, oh, like I guess you have daddy issues in a way, and it's like tied to um a part of yourself that you don't want to tap into because you think it's only one way, like you're only seeing the negative of it, but actually seeing the power or the positive in it, it's like this actually works to your benefit. And
Right.
after doing that session, being able to check in with my dad and have a good conversation, I'm like, it's still a blessing to be able to have that and
Yeah.
to kind of measure it with boundaries to be like, okay, well, let me do like a 5 minute conversation or something or a check in where I can listen and then I don't get too worn out
Right.
and kind of use that going forward, but not overdo it to where it's like, hey, I've got this thing now and like this new hammer, everything's a hammer, a nail to me, and I just want to smash everything and just like express all over the place. And it's like, calm down, dude. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, I think I did something like that, and a few people reached out and they're like, you okay? Like, what's going on here? I'm like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good. I got some good sleep. It's been a couple days, a little restless.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, it definitely makes sense to allow yourself to process it, and process things over time as well. Like don't even rush the process. I
Yeah.
think with anything, um, when we rush the process, we don't allow ourselves to heal properly. We don't allow ourselves to think through things properly.
Hmm.
So yeah, I feel like that's a universal lesson there. I like that.
Gotcha. I guess like we talked about the book a little bit, but I guess what were some of the things you learned? You mentioned the marketing piece. Like, what were some of the things you learned about yourself through the process of writing it and kind of, I don't know if I'd say putting it behind you or maybe putting it in front of you?
Yeah. Um, some of the things I learned a lot. I'm trying to think of just a few things. Well, one of
Or
the
what's
things that,
or
what's
no, go
that?
go go ahead.
Well, one of the things I learned is that when it comes to marketing, a lot of times it's not even about just, hey, here's my book, you should buy it.
Hmm.
But it's about inviting people in on that journey. I know earlier when you and I were speaking about taking pictures
Hmm.
and how both of us were like, why would we take a picture? Like we're here, we're experiencing this now.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of taking a picture? And when you take that same mindset and you apply it to marketing with books, essentially what you're doing is you are sharing it. So you're taking
Hmm.
a snapshot and then you share it with people. And so it's not about, hey, buy my book, but
Hmm.
it's about, hey, I wrote this chapter today about
Hmm.
XYZ, and it got me thinking about, workplace value, and it got me thinking about how we can look at comparison differently, or how we can look at how we treat people differently. So just being
Hmm.
able to share that, I learned how to do that, and I learned how much I really do like to keep to myself.
Hmm.
Because it wasn't. it wasn't easy by any means, just because I figured out how to make it work. It wasn't easy, but it was something that I learned. And then I also learned how resourceful I was,
Mm,
just being able to see that come to the forefront. I went the self-publishing route, and so that means I did everything. I didn't go through a self-publisher. I was the publisher.
mm,
So learning, about the ISBNs, and learning about the how do I find an editor, and learning about the getting the cover created, and transitioning an ebook to a paper copy and posting it online to get distributors, like all of those different things
mm,
I was figuring out. And if anyone would have told me, years prior, you're going to write a book and you're going to do it all by yourself, I would have been like, okay, like, right?
yeah.
And it's not to say that you don't need people, because I did have an editor, I did have a graphic designer, but being able to find them, I had an illustrator, being able to find them,
Hmm.
that took a resourcefulness I didn't realize I had, because the majority of people that I used were people that I already knew.
Hmm.
Um, and so I learned that about myself, that, and I think a lot of people would, that when it comes down to it, if you need to get something done, you will figure out a way. Where there's that saying, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
And I definitely had a will to get it published, and I made it happen. And so that was one thing, that was a lot of things that I learned about myself within that same umbrella of lessons learned.
Yeah. That's a good lesson.
Yeah.
And one thing when I think back about like taking pictures, and one thing I did remember you did on the marketing aspect, at least with social media, was the packaging that you guys did where you did multiple people's items in the book
Yeah.
or in the box and sending that out as like what would you call it?
Oh, I don't remember what it was called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I mean it's like I don't know, I almost want to call it beta testing, like when a new
Yeah.
software comes out and you send it to a group of people to be like, hey, like check
Yeah.
these out, give a review on it. That way people have a sense of like, hey, here's what's going on, here's this new thing. Because
Right.
obviously when you're on Amazon, it's, or even if you're on Google Maps and you're searching for what's there to do in the area, you go right through the reviews and it's like, okay, this place has almost 5 stars, or this place has below 4 stars. And it's like, like I'm
Yeah.
not going there and I'm not risking it. Like, unless somebody else has spoken well of you and someone just came in angry speaking against you, it's like, you probably upset enough people to where they're like, yeah, we don't want to do business over there.
Exactly. Exactly.
And something else your book kind of reminds me of is the strength finders, because I think that may have been one of the things we talked about before, which is coming up with this new job that I took here at the start of the new year. And some, I guess before we talked about, it was at the anagram test where it gives you the letters, or that's maybe something
Oh,
else.
the
Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs. Yep.
Okay, right. So it's like I've heard, I think you were maybe the first person that mentioned to me Myers-Briggs, and then I was more familiar with DISC, and now I'm hearing
Okay.
about strength finders. But
Okay.
the the and there was a career fair here recently where they had it was for like high school students, mainly focusing on the seniors, but open to ninth and 12th graders. But they had this flashcard game where you could go around and it's like, "Okay, here are all these things, make a stack of what you like and what you dislike, and then from there you maybe narrow it down to like your top 10,
Yeah.
and then from there they group them together, and whatever the profession was, they were color coded, and whatever the color was supposed to be within those four rubrics, where it's okay, you're someone that likes people, someone that likes things, you're driven by either you want to be an engineer, you want to be a nurse, you want to be a researcher, this type of thing. And it's like, okay, they basically had it printed out on a sheet of paper that gave you an idea of, based on your preferences, here's where you would do well. And
Yeah.
just even if you don't do well with, like, say you want to major in psychology and then you want to pivot to engineering, and then you're like, okay, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to be a dentist, or maybe I want to do that. Like, you get enough core credits to where you can mix and mingle with people enough and get a sense of like, oh, like this is my tribe, this is where I belong.
Yeah.
And mm, I tried it, didn't like it, don't really like the hours, not really feeling this chasing money thing.
Right.
Let me settle down and find out like what really matters to me in life, and heck, maybe put the kids in summer camp and then go do something else another time.
Put the kids in summer camping. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But I guess what's the it's October now, so what's the fall been like for you? Or like in school 2 months, or not quite to that age yet?
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely in school. They're at that age. And they're not even like tiny kids, but
Got you.
kids are kids. Um, but yeah, it has been steady, I would say. Have a couple of speaking engagements, so steadily getting those monthly. So that's been good. Um, and just really exploring. I recently at the Association of Talent Development, there was a regional conference here, and I've been exploring comparison a little bit more
Mm.
and the healthiness of it. Like, how can it be healthy? Which is not
Mm.
a typical thing. Like, most people are like, they try not to compare, or it can be discouraging for them.
Yeah.
And then some people are mixed. It just depends. And then you have a few people that already see the benefit in it. But anyways, I've been doing a lot of that, like just um studying the neuroscience behind it. And who knows, that could be the next the next book.
Dun dun
But right
dun.
now it's a workshop. Right now I have these, you're talking about beta. I don't have them near me, but I have beta cards
Mm.
where it is a card deck where people can kind of look at the typical negative, harmful comparison thoughts. And then on the flip side is an opportunity to reframe
Mm.
what that typical thought looks like. So I'm really excited about it, but that's kind of taking up my fall as I also plan for what's happening next year. So yeah.
Got you. I just got done with a volunteer event this morning where they had a like a firefighters fighting cancer, like a
Oh.
fundraiser type thing, but they had like a 5K, 10K, and a fun run for the kids. So it's
Hmm.
like they had bouncy houses and things like that. And it's just funny watching kids run around all the time, and it's like whether it's
Yeah.
like a little tiny baby that's just like staring at you like who are you, what are you doing over there, what you got going on? But yeah,
Right.
like it just I just wanted to throw that in there. It's like, yeah, kids are kids. Like 1 second you have the one that might be playing King of the Mountain, and like another kid's kind of discouraged, like I'm not going up there
Yeah.
anymore. And it's like they just come in like all shapes and sizes, and then they end up like us, like just
Yep.
bigger kids.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what's one of the things like you could point to as a positive of comparison? Because like sometimes when you're in burnout mode and you're thinking like, well, I got to keep up with the Joneses, or I got to beat my colleagues, or it's like you go back to the proverb, maybe it's not a proverb, but somewhere in the Bible, comparison is a thief of joy, kind of steering that way versus like, okay, well, I need to be competitive with the people around me to kind of keep up and get it is what I want out of life a little bit.
Yeah. Um, as far as the positives, so I think it's important to, what's the word? To kind of state this a precursor with, anytime you compare, in order for it to be healthy, there has to be context,
Mm.
there has to be intention, and there has to be reflection. Without those things, then comparison is going to do what comparison does. Like, it's just going to do whatever it does. It and I think that's important
Mhm.
first of all. But when we look at it with the reflection and the the intention, and that even a little bit of strategy, then one of the the benefits we can see is looking at or is trying things that either haven't been tried
Mhm.
or trying things different because we've seen somebody else try it and we've seen the results. So essentially a positive reinforcement. When you look at things like, so I work in learning and development. That's like my 9 to 5 job, in addition to doing the keynote speaking and the workshop facilitation. And peer learning is a big one, as is um, peer modeling. And I think it was Harvard Business Review that showed there is a 30% increase in productivity when individuals participate in peer learning. So learning from each other.
Okay.
And then there is a 27% increase in learning velocity. So, or the ability for individuals to learn more quickly when they are looking at others. I think when we initially say comparison, we say, don't compare. What we're really saying is don't look at someone on surface level and make a long-term decision based on what you see in an instant. And that
Mhm.
I agree with. But when we truly compare, then really what we are doing is we're doing a comparative analysis. We're doing research and development. We are exploring further than what we see on surface level, kind of like, don't judge a book by its cover. That's what
Mhm.
we do when we initially compare. But when we do the type of comparison that is healthy, we are actually opening up that book and we are looking deeper into it to figure out what works, what doesn't work
Mhm.
because not everything that we compare ourselves to will be beneficial for us. And that's why that self-awareness in that context is important. But if it is beneficial for us, as in it kind of helps us to reach those goals that we have set for ourselves, then we can pick and choose what portions, based off of what we're comparing, what portions we can utilize or emulate versus imitate. Because the goal is not to imitate, it's to emulate.
Mhm.
How can we emulate some of those things and use that to get to that next step in our career or in our personal life? But I focus on professional development, so I
Gotcha.
stick with comparison in that professional realm and how that can be beneficial. So I hope that
Gotcha.
answered your question. I know that was a really long-winded answer.
No, that makes sense because for me, it's like when you're talking about personal development, and I think about like public speaking, for instance.
Yeah,
One one thing that I was introduced to 2014, 2015 was Toastmasters. And one of the things you quickly learn in there is in giving your icebreaker, you learn how to give a speech with like a guideline from a book, but you also get to watch other people that have been there longer than you. Somebody might
right.
be there 1 day longer, a month, 6 months longer, a year longer. And someone that might speak immaculately, no crutch words, nothing like that. They know how to use their hands, make gestures, they get your attention, they have this drama, everything going, and you're like, geez, like I'm not that good. That's
Yeah,
immediately like the first thought.
right.
But in seeing how meetings are put together by saying like, okay, you have someone that's in charge of organizing the meeting. They might pick a theme and it gives people an opportunity to participate, whether you're like one of the main speakers, you're someone that's giving feedback, or you're called on to do a table topic where it's like you have 1 minute to speak on this thing in
Yeah,
your own way. And then you get feedback continually throughout to where it's like, here's what you're doing right. Here's something you can improve on. And in those things you can improve on, people are willing to team up with you to show you. So, like, if you were to sit back and count like someone else is counting how many crutch words are being said, you'd be like, geez, I said, or like, or, and so
right.
240 times in like five
It's a
minutes.
lot.
It's like, geez, it's a lot. But then if you're willing to practice the rubric of like, okay, I have an idea of how this person spoke, or maybe if I watch a TED talk or I watch a podcast, or you pay attention to someone that does something better than what you're currently doing, you can take what they're telling you if they're speaking about speaking specifically, and they
Right.
show you either verbatim or they show you in their action to, hey, they're talking about a time in their life when such and such thing affected them, or how they chose their career job or their dream job that they're currently doing, or how they stumbled into this hornet's nest or something like that. Just some
Right.
wild story. But you start to pick up things where I saw this Australian guy, I believe he pops up on Instagram a lot of times. And
Hmm.
one of the latest clips that I saw was him sharing with people in Australia what he learned while he was in America, where he held up two books and he's like, "Who wants one of these?" And you had people just sitting back,
Yeah.
and like finally two people ran up and grabbed the books from his hand, and he's like, "The thing that's funny is that when I say who wants one of these, you think that I have the power to give you this, while it's
Mm.
like it's in your hands to come and take these things." But in saying a speech like that versus also displaying um someone that's speaking closed off versus like, okay, hey, here's the comparison of me speaking wide open or being more forward facing to where, like, oh, like this person is moving, they're doing something active. I should pay attention to that moving thing. It is that like comparative analysis that you spoke to, where it's, here's what happens when you don't do it right. Here's what happens when you do it a
Right.
little bit better than what was not so right. And
Yeah.
it gives you kind of like a measuring stick or a rubric to where it's, you can freestyle it and do it in your own way. And then in doing that, it's, you either become more effective with your messaging or like maybe less effective. And
Right.
to your point with personal development, you have people that maybe climb the ladder or they connect with other people differently, where it's like when someone speaks to you, they make you feel a certain way. You're like, oh, okay, maybe I want to talk to that person a little bit more. Other times it's like, I never want to see that person again. It's like as soon as they show up, I'm like crossing the
Yeah.
street or just like, oh, no, 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 they're not
Yeah.
here. It's like, can't see you, can't see you. But I think you gave a great example. That's what I wanted to say with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And even with just your examples that you gave with the Toastmasters and the measuring stick, that was actually, I'm not going to get, don't worry, I won't get too scientific on you, but Albert Bandura, he was the one who, I'm not Albert Bandura, sorry, Leon Fessinger
Mhm.
studied social comparison theory.
Mm,
And he was the one that said that whenever there is a lack of a standard, and this is not verbatim what he said, so don't go
mhm.
trying to Google it. When anybody's listening, it's not going to be verbatim.
Well, I mean, if they
But
Google it, they can put it, they can
right.
drop it in there, and other people can follow. Just, I mean, it's
Right.
it's it's an interactive thing. We're having a conversation. There's no judgment here. No judgment.
But it essentially what he talked about was that when we don't have a set standard, we use other people
Mm,
to create a measuring stick. And when you were talking about the process of looking at this speaker and look taking what you like from them and taking what you like from them, all of that is exactly what it takes to compare healthily, because that's going beyond the surface level, number one, and number two, it is also sorry, I'm losing my train of thought real quick. It's also going based off of facts.
mm,
You're going based off of what you see. You see this person that is perhaps using storytelling, and you they're that they when the other people are providing feedback, you notice that majority of that feedback is positive.
mm,
You're not going based off of the assumption, oh, this person thinks that they just told a really good story, don't they? Like, we're not that that doesn't happen, because it
mm,
does, but you are not comparing based on that. You're comparing based on the feedback that you're getting. And
mm,
eventually what happens is that if you start to emulate from here, and you create your own version of this, then when you get feedback,
mm,
now, even though you used somebody else to come up with that initial idea, when you start to improve that, you are now basing that off of yourself.
mm,
And so initially it started because you saw someone else and you're like, I like what they're doing, or I dislike that. I don't want to do that.
Hmm.
And then as the process goes, it actually changes into something where now, based off of your interpretation of that, now people are providing you, Asher, with feedback for
Hmm.
you to improve. And now at that point, we no longer need the initial uh, protege, or I don't know what the, oh my gosh, the word, I'm losing the word, whatever that word is.
Take your time.
We no longer need that model
Hmm.
of that person because now we've created our own model
Hmm.
for ourselves. And I think that that's what's really important. And it's not something that's overly complicated. I just think that it's something that we haven't learned how to do.
Yeah.
And I think the more we talk about it and the more we go through that process of this is how to compare, I
Hmm.
think that that's important. And one of the things I even talk about in the workshop is that not every situation is going to be worth comparing. Back to your
Yeah.
point of Toastmasters and speaking, that was within context. That dealt with a goal, a skill. It was
Right.
very specific. It wasn't, oh, look at this person driving this fancy car. Like, what does that have to do with speaking? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just ensuring that it is in alignment with what you want. But that takes us back a step further. And so before we allow ourselves to even participate in comparing in a way that's healthy, we have to not be aware of self-awareness, but practice self-awareness.
Hmm.
That's first and foremost. Because if we don't know what our goals are, if we don't know what we're looking to achieve, then every time we see something that looks really shiny,
Yeah.
we're going to want to do that.
Right. Right.
But does it help us?
Yeah. I guess if I
Right.
could maybe give you another example and instead of firing off another question at you is I started practicing jujitsu back in May of
Oh,
this
nice.
year, and something that it was recommended to me by a friend from high school that we both wrestled together, and he found it pretty useful being able to transition and just have something to do after work, something that's physical that kind of gets you to think and work through things. And something that I found myself doing is trying to go to as many practices throughout the week as I could. But obviously, your body at some point kind of lets you know, hey, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
today's not the day. It's like if you're falling asleep driving to or from, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
let's lay it down. And
Yeah.
one thing that I appreciated was going to the fundamentals class because they have classes for like beginner working on your fundamentals. And with a smaller class, like you get to ask questions or like interrupt or exchange back and forth to where it's like, huh, like what did you do there? And they, depending
Right.
on who the instructor is, they show you details that maybe they, as they teach, they have to like present things in a way to where like they have to see the light come on in your eyes to be like, oh, okay, like I'm saying this, does that make sense? But then if you look over and they're just like confused look is like, let me
Yeah.
find another way to explain this. And you like do so many movements that you need to learn to get to the next belt level, but like you might forget the name of it. But one of the things we looked at yesterday was a 50-50 drill, which is if you're standing neutral, they basically call it like a pancake where you try to use someone's momentum against them, where
Mm.
it does two things where you're forcing pressure and then trying to use that to like drop your hips, and it's like you basically drop and switch your hips to pancake the person on their chest and then you kind of land chest to chest. But if you mess up and they know what's going on, they can drop their hips before you drop yours, and then they just kind of bully you over and they pancake you, and you're just like, "Bleh," kind of like a dead bug laying back. But
Yeah.
seeing it initially, I was like, I've been trying that, or I thought I was trying it. And then when I drilled it a little bit, they're like, yeah, you just did it. And I was like, oh, okay. But it it looked different when I saw you
Right.
do it because you didn't just do it. Like initially, I was like, wait, how's that gonna work? But it's like,
Right.
okay, you've been doing this longer than me, so let me trust you. And then as I watch you, like, okay, I come here, I'm facing you, then I'm turning my hips 90 degrees. And then in doing that, I'm going to drop my butt here and this leg, I'm going to make contact with you. And then I was like, oh, okay. So now I remember why that's work. It's like it's been 15 years plus since I've wrestled or been in high school. And but
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like if somebody's outweighing me by 20, 30 pounds, I can easily just be, oh, I'm already under them so long as they don't so long as they don't come to and they're like, oh, this person's about to throw me, I could just be like, whoop, and then pin them
Yeah.
on their back. But being able to see things slowed down when it comes to fundamentals, and it's like as you're doing this, you want to you maybe feel like a time pressure, or you feel like a presence or energy pressure of like this person is physically moving me. And then if I'm not getting a reaction out of them, I feel this urgency to like I have to make something happen. But it's like, okay, well, if I'm not doing anything, they're not doing anything. And kind of realizing like if I'm expanding all this energy, they're they're kind of just watching me to be like, okay, well, let them tire themselves out. And once they're done, then I can make my move. And it's like, oh, okay, like we're always in a 50-50 position. Like
Mm,
everything that I'm doing is either to defend myself from what you're doing or to attack you. And then if I'm attacking you, you've got to defend and protect that. And it's like this constant pendulum that's always swinging.
right.
And then the person that ends up dominating is the one that has more sense, or they have a bigger view of what's going on holistically, to where it's okay, if I can set a trap with you here, I get you to look this way, and then I can distract you here. If I get you to focus up here where your head and arms are, your legs are exposed. If
Mm,
I do vice versa, then your torso is exposed.
yeah.
And it's one of those where it's like, okay, this is why this is fun, because I don't have to look at a spreadsheet or anything like that, but it's like you just get to figure
Yeah.
out like what different ways can you attack the human body, but you do it in a safe manner where like you kind of just laugh at yourself when you make mistakes, or you like,
Yeah.
oh, like I didn't see that coming, or like you just kind of caught me off guard, and it's, oh, okay, now I've got something else to like consider when we're in this position again.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
But that's been some of my recent activities. But aside from like doing, it seems like definitely being able to rest and take the time to not try to do too much. Like these past 2 weekends have been refreshing in a way where I didn't like how I maybe got to being forced to rest, but at the same time I was
Mm,
like, you know, you do enough during this time frame, or like this time frame where like the little extra, you don't always have to do the extra. Like there is a time and place for it. But when it's just like, yeah, let's not. Like let's plan a day to where today is go volunteer doing this. And then
right.
we maybe have a conversation, and then who knows, like do the laundry, wash the floor, maybe pack a bag,
Yeah.
just kind of it's like it's weird like noticing that you have the time to like less laissez-faire, as people say in English, but I think in French is laissez-faire. Like let things be. Try
Hmm.
not to try not to force things, because sometimes it's like if you're working so hard and you're straining at something, and it's if it's like every little movement that you're making, it just doesn't seem to be making a difference. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe just stop for a minute, regroup, and the thing you're fighting so hard to get, it finally just like shows up, and it's like, oh, I didn't even have to do anything, so to
Right.
speak.
That's good.
But you getting excited for the fall season, pumpkins, pumpkin spice,
Yeah,
everything,
I
lattes?
am. It's my favorite season of the year, always. I mean, because too, I think we don't talk about it a lot, but anticipation is is much more fun than the actual event.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like when the holidays roll around, whether someone is celebrating Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa, or I know there's probably a lot of other holidays that go on throughout that time.
Mhm.
And it's like the buildup of, the events, because once that holiday and New Year's,
Yeah.
once that main holiday happens, it's just like, well, it's done. Like what? And
Yeah.
that's why I enjoy the fall, because it's the build up, and there's so many holidays for it to build up to, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
here's another one,
Yeah.
here's another one, and then the wind and the leaves and the pumpkins and the movies, and it's just people are, for the most part, they're nicer, I guess, unless you're going to a sale,
Mhm.
and then they're just
He's just like
and then
elbows
they're
you. Just
rah. Then they change. Um, but yeah, it's just, yeah, absolutely fall hands down. I can't believe when I was a kid, I used to say spring was my favorite, like favorite season. Like, what in the world?
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
who
different
likes
times, different
allergies?
seasons where it's like maybe had your allergies kicked in by then.
No, that's why I'm like, who,
So
what in the
so
world?
it's like you didn't know any different
Oh
because it's
gosh.
like for I didn't know how big of a deal Halloween was, but like obviously October people were like, well, no, no, like we're doing a guys weekend, and a couple of the guys that have kids, they're like, nope, got to take the kids trick or treating. Can't do it that weekend. Nope, time out, time
Right.
out. And I was like, okay, well, we'll reschedule. So we're going, I think, next weekend, and obviously, like maybe sometimes Christmas music will kind of you start playing it randomly in the summertime, but like I can see myself like playing a Christmas list, or maybe it'll start coming into the ads now. They start
Yeah.
prepping you for, hey, once Halloween's out of the way, it's Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Black Friday, Black
Mhm.
Friday
Yeah.
sales, and then everybody going back to the marketing thing now. It's like, oh, hey, what are you going to put out there to promote to people and that type of thing? It's like, oh, this is how things work over on this side. But
Yeah.
then it's like you for a lot of people that are up in the northern states, I forget when snow starts hitting on the ground, whether it's like November or something like that, and they have like 6 to 8 months of snow, and it's
Oh wow.
oh
Yeah.
winter is here to stay type thing, and it's like, hey, well, until it gets here, we're gonna enjoy a break from the summer. Like I think it was like high 50s, low 60s this morning up until like it warmed up a little bit. Maybe now it might be like mid 70s
Oh
back.
wow.
It's like trying to hang out in the 80s a little bit, but
Yeah.
that's the South for you. But what I guess what are some other things you anticipate? Definitely the fall, like
Yes.
changing of the leaves, the colors,
Hmm.
all that.
Yeah. As far as anticipate for the fall season,
Yeah, yeah.
or Um, so a few years ago, my daughter and I started doing roasted pumpkin seeds, which if you've
Mm,
never tried it, definitely recommend. There is like a recipe where it like brown sugar and cinnamon and nutmeg, and you just like, oh my gosh, it is so good. I can't quite put my finger on what it tastes like, but it's really, really good. And it's crunchy and it's just fun to eat.
mm,
Um, so that cocoa, and
yeah.
not just any cocoa, but like cocoa where we we put in like the whipped cream and maybe crush up some peppermint and things like
Mm,
that, and gingerbread houses,
yeah.
and all this happens during the fall.
Yeah.
And markets and festivals, and
Chili if you're
yeah,
into that.
oh my gosh, yes, chili soup, like movies, like sitting by the
Campfires, bonfires.
fireplace, yeah, s'mores, like there's just so much, like decorating the house. I love to decorate the house. We celebrate Christmas, and I don't really focus too much on the outside because I'm like, the outside is for other people. Like, who cares? I decorate the inside of the house,
Mhm,
where I have like lights around the counters in the kitchen, and lights going upstairs, and door
mm,
wreaths on everybody's door, and like the whole inside of the house is decorated. And outside, maybe a door wreath.
Yeah.
You got to come inside if you want to see. Um, but yeah, all of that, visiting family, family visiting us, like there's just the music. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. And I love jazz,
Yeah.
and fall jazz is the best.
I might have to look that up now because I was sitting here thinking like what kind of music initially when we said bonfire, I was thinking like maybe that's when country started to grow on me a little bit to where I was like, okay,
Oh,
I
yeah.
get what's being said here. I keep listening to these step up to the mic videos with this guy Michael Manelli, and he has different people in different cities. Like he's playing a feature of his song, and they'll come in and do a
Oh,
verse or
yeah.
something like that. And it's like a lot of talented people out there, and you have somebody just going into their bag, whether it's something they've had on their heart from their diary or some other thing, and it's like wow, like
Yeah.
ooh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
But it's like you'll be between jazz and Christmas music. I think you can't go too wrong there.
Yeah, no, not at all. All good moods.
Yeah, awesome. And you mentioned movies. Do you have any on the list, the to-do list? You like we got to go see that one.
Gotta go see Wicked.
Mm,
Like, that's a given. Um,
yeah,
I think that's the only movie I'm like, we're gonna go see it.
gotcha.
Um, but no, other than that, like I say classics, but I guess it depends on the person. I
Mm,
like to watch older movies. Um,
it's a
make
Wonderful
the kids.
Life,
Yeah, oh,
Christmas
not that old.
Story.
No, no,
No,
no.
not that. I mean, that's classic. Like, I
That's why I
mean
said it depends on
that
the
that is
person.
pretty old. That is pretty old. That might not
I've
be.
never watched either one of those, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
you're missing out. You'll watch it and you'll be like, okay, like let's add that to the list.
Nope, never watched either one of those. So it won't be, I mean, maybe we will, but it'll
I
be
mean, jump on YouTube. I'm sure they have it free. They'll start. Hey, that's the other thing. Like all these browsing, streaming sites,
right.
platforms, they're all going to start updating their catalogs, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
like get the family around,
Yeah.
sit on the couch, just sit back and listen. You start doing the matching pajamas, or if you want to go out in uniform,
Yeah. We used to do that. Like I think the kids are too old for that now. They don't
they're
want to be
like, no.
matching.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny though.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess is there anything you're looking forward to as like fall kind of comes to an end and you transition to the new year, or do you just not want to think about that just yet?
No, yeah, I've already been thinking about the new year. Planning vacation, family vacations, speaking engagements, like it doesn't stop. And if you're always, I believe in contentment, but I
Hmm.
also believe in ambition, and I believe that they can work together.
Yeah.
Um, and so with that, being grateful for everything that this year has brought, but typically when September rolls around, I'm already planning for next year. Like
Mm,
what are some of the speaking opportunities that I want or the things I want for my business? How are we spending time as a family? Like, and I'm not planning out every moment, but like the
mm.
bigger things is what I'm
Right,
planning
right.
out. Trying to make sure that we're good to go for that. So just I'm just really grateful for life in general. Um, and even the tough times that bring a lesson learned.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm always looking towards grateful for the current, but always looking for what happens next,
Right.
6 months to a year down the road. And of course, further than that when I think about like really big goals, but
Yeah.
mostly it's 6 months to a year.
I almost forgot we last time we did talk, were you guys able to make some of the family vacations or trips you wanted or create some of those memories?
I don't remember which ones I said, but yes, we've been taking some family
Gotcha. That's
trips.
good. Because I mean those are important.
Yeah,
If you don't do them often and early, then time just kind of gets away from you. And back to
yeah,
that thing about the calendar, if you don't book it or block it out, then it's like
yeah,
life happens and you're like too busy.
yeah, yeah. We started doing we do one big summer trip. And
Hmm.
then starting this year, we stopped doing gifts and we do trips
Mm.
because they're old enough to have the memories.
Yeah.
And you get a gift and chances are they're not even gonna like remember like what did I get for Christmas last year? I'm like, what?
Or it's
Do you
like play
remember we
with it
went on
with
that
10
trip?
minutes and then toss it
Right.
to the side, play with the box the
I don't
rest of the
have time
time.
for that. Yeah, I don't have time. I don't have the money to be just throwing it around on something that we're going to throw in the trash. So no, we're going to
Yeah.
take a trip. And that's what we're going to do from here on out is we're going to take a trip.
Yeah.
So take pictures, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about at the beginning.
That's true. That's true. And with that, let people know where they can find you, how they can get in touch with you if you'd like them to.
Yes. So they can always visit my website, laporalindsey.com/speaking if you're interested in the keynotes and the workshop facilitation. And then I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, LaPora Lindsey there, and that's LAPORA and Lindsey LINDSEY. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, a little bit of Threads. I try to claim all of my platforms.
Hmm.
Whether I'm super active, it just depends on the day, except for LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
LinkedIn, I'm consistent. Um, but yeah, and then they can always send me an email as well. Hello at
Gotcha.
laporalindsey.com. Yeah.
Cool. I like it. And have you been podcasting recently? I thought I saw you do a
Live
couple of
streaming.
live
There's too
streaming.
much work in podcasting.
Hey, it works. If you record it, it happens. You one and done.
Yeah, I just do the live stream. There's the editing, the production of podcasting. I don't have on a hat, but I
Yeah.
anyone who can do that, I know it's a lot of work, and I don't have that in me.
Yeah. It
So yeah.
it's funny. I thought to myself, I was like, oh, maybe I'll try editing this thing. I was not, no. I was like, there's a reason you haven't done it for 250, 270 plus episodes. It's like you're
Oh
not
wow.
about to start now. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
no. It's like, yeah, you'd be really good at this. I was like, nope. Uh-uh. I know
Yeah,
what I might be good at and I know what I want to do, and that
right.
there's no overlapping Venn diagram there. It's like I'll
Yeah.
pass. I'll default to someone that's much stronger and more capable at that than myself.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same here. I don't even want to find anybody, so just live stream.
But thank you
Yeah,
again for catching up with me. It was a pleasure to speak to you and always talk about the common things in life, the things that sometimes we forget about and it can get overlooked, but it's always good to come back to what's important.
absolutely. Thank you for having me on here, Asher. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.